So the story for me starts when Garrett and I were living in Montana, and we were serving two separate churches across the street from each other. I was at a Methodist church, he was at a Presbyterian church, and I had just started at the Methodist church. And he went to a pastoral sort of retreat.
I was really bored, and I wanted something more. And so we started looking for new calls. And one of the things that we wanted was just more interaction with the congregation, more activity, more opportunity for ministry. We really didn't know what that looked like, but we also wanted to work together, so.
And so Garrett came home from this conference and said, there's a church I think we should look at as a co-pastorship. And literally I had just started at this other church, and I said, you're crazy. Absolutely not. We're not transitioning. We're not moving to Detroit. We don't know anyone in Detroit. What are you talking about? But he sort of planted this seed.
So we got online. There's a pastoral search webpage that you can go to, and we submitted our resumes and kind of some of our sermons.
Our first Zoom interview, I believe, was February of 2020. But we continued in the process of, interviewing and talking with the committee, and eventually came out for a visit sometime in the summer. And at that point I was 21 weeks pregnant, and we drove from Montana to Detroit to interview and to preach and to check out the church. And when we were driving in on 75, and it was, the really industrial sort of part of Detroit.
I think it's 75 there, kind of goes up this big hill. And then you kind of peak and you look out and you can sort of see the city in the background. But what you mostly see are all these old factories and swamp and all of this. And Sarah turned to me at that time and she goes, "This is it, I know it." And she felt like a kick. It was sort of the first time she felt a kick from our daughter. And this was significant for her.
And it was a gray day, and there was nothing visually amazing about coming into Detroit that day. But I remember saying to Garrett, I have a feeling that we're going to end up here. Something about this feels like this is where we're going to be.
It looks a little dreary, and certainly that is not all of Detroit, right? But that was my first look at it, was coming over, seeing all of the factories, seeing the smoke coming from all this stuff. And I was like, she's telling me, yeah, this is it. And I'm thinking, I don't know about that.
And at that moment, I felt the baby kick for the very first time as we're driving into Detroit. And there was this moment where I thought, something about this place is where we're supposed to be.